my pajamas. Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting her through a little bit of rope desensitization. And basically what that is doing is introducing her to discomfort, a minor amount of discomfort to different parts of her body. This is kind of the first step that I personally would take with a yearling or a weanling if I was just started. She's going to be a little bit different because being a quarter horse with a gaming background, she's a little bit more high-strung and oversensitized than obviously your typical yearling would be. And in addition to the fact that she's not actually a yearling, she's 13, so she has a lot more baggage and trust issues than your typical yearling would. And we did a little bit of this last night, but the basic concept is that what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to swing the rope all over the parts of her body, and I did a little bit of this last night, so she's she's a lot better at it now. What I'm going to do, though, is if I find a spot where she's uncomfortable, I'm going to just go through the same rhythm, touching her in that same place anytime I see a skin twitch, and just reassuring her, telling her she's a good girl until she doesn't have that reaction anymore. And what you're doing with this exercise is you're basically telling them that, as long as there's something touching their body, horses are prey animals, so they have a fight or flight instinct that kicks in anytime they're uncomfortable or they feel like there's danger. So parts of their body that they can't see or that aren't touched regularly are pretty sensitive, and that's when you can kind of run into trouble when you're on a trail or, a situation that's not ordinary for the horse, and they can get spooky, and that's when problems can happen and people can get hurt. Another thing that I don't know if you can see from the video, I don't have her tied because I want her to be able to move if she's uncomfortable. Because if she's uncomfortable and she moves, I'm going to stay with her and continue tapping her with the rope in the same spot until she stops moving and shows me she's relaxed. Right now you can see she's pretty relaxed. She's listening to me, but she's also about at half mast, so with her eyes. So she's pretty good with what we're doing. Like I said, I did a lot of this last night for about 45 minutes or a half an hour. So today's just kind of a recap. That's another good thing to do when you're training a horse, is to do a recap of the thing that you did the previous day, because it kind of gets their mind moving and it reinforces what you did the previous day. So because today's a Sunday and I wouldn't ordinarily work today, I'm just doing this over again, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the same sort of thing, but I'm going to do it with probably a lunge whip, and again the same soft tapping everywhere, all over her body, around her feet, on her groin area, around her tail, over her back on the opposite side from where I am, on her face, with the same general concept. And then this is just moving towards having a more desensitized horse and a horse that trusts you even more. Another thing that's really important when you're doing this is that you're reassuring her the whole way, and that you're really watching for her cues about how she feels about it. The whole point of this is for her to understand that there's not anything that's going to hurt her. And along going with that, you're going to want to do this in other parts of your property or barn, or take her out of her comfort zone to a place where she's less comfortable, to just reinforce the desensitization. Another thing that's going to be really important anytime you're training a horse is whatever you do on one side, you want to do on the other, because that's going to further encourage their comfort level and just ensure that they're a very well-rounded horse with no gaps in their training. So tomorrow I will be moving on to the lunge whip, and then the day after that probably a lunge whip with a bag on it. Anything that can create discomfort in the horse you want to know about so you guys can work through it together. And as you can see, she's a pretty good girl. Whiskey is a 13-year-old AQHA Palomino mare. She has been ridden before, but she was ridden on the Pirelli's method, which can work really great. Oh, easy girl. Can work really great for some horses and really not great for others, and it just caused her a lot of problems and issues. But we're going to work through it together, and I have faith that she's going to be an awesome horse, and I will continue to keep you guys updated. So thank you so much for watching. Can you say goodbye? Bye.